Hey everybody, George Souris from Empire Legal. This week we are at Main Beach at Marina Mirage. You can see in the background over there the Southport Marina. Alright, let's get into this week's topic, which is the tenancy section on the contract. This part is all about tenancies on a contract. Keep in mind we're talking about REIQ contracts only. Quite often a buyer thinks that just because the expiry of a lease is prior to settlement, that a tenant will have vacated prior to the settlement itself. This is not the case, as the tenancy will switch to a periodic after the fixed term expires. If the tenancy section on page 3 of an REIQ contract is left blank, then vacant possession must be provided at settlement or the vendor is in breach of contract. When the tenancy section of the contract is completed, the contract is not subject to vacant possession, even in the event the fixed term noted ends before the intended settlement date. There are rules and timeframes that must be followed when ending a tenancy. A tenant, property manager or property owner can all issue a notice to end a tenancy. If the correct notice and form is not used, the other person may ask for compensation. As a landlord, you or your property manager need to fill out and provide to the vendor a notice to leave or Form 12. The minimum notice required is 2 months. So, for example, the tenancy section on page 3 is filled out with the tenancy ending on the 1st of February 2024. Let's assume that the settlement date is also 1st of February 2024. Notice would have needed to be given 2 months prior by the landlord, so 1st of December 2023, in writing, in order for the tenants to be out in time for settlement. This is where a lot of issues occur, as on a traditional 30-day contract, the notice period required exceeds the length of the sale contract. We suggest you get in touch with our office, both as a seller or a buyer, if there is an existing tenancy on the property. We will give you the right advice and make sure you are protected. Keep in mind here that if tenants wish to give notice to vacate, they can do so with 14 days notice. The law says it's the later of 14 days or the day the fixed term ends. Parties can also end a tenancy earlier by mutual agreement in writing. So remember, if you're claiming the home or first home concession as a buyer for transfer duty, in order to be eligible, the tenants must be out the earlier of 6 months from the settlement date or the end of the tenancy. Agents, if the buyers need possession fast, you can try to get a side agreement to remove a tenancy sooner by incentivising them. For example, covering removal costs or a cash payment, etc. Thanks to our very own Lene from our Manly office for this blog topic suggestion. We'll see you all next week for our last blog of 2023. Thanks everybody. Chat soon. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind that all advice is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. This is authorised by George Souris, Empire Legal, Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia.